Of course, the Hatton-Senchenko fight. You're going to be in Manchester as well as the thousands alongside you will be excited about this. I mean, what are you expecting, Ryan, at this point now with the build-up, everything that's been going on the night? What are we going to see?
You know what? I mean, the stories I'm reading and everything I've been reading about Ricky, he's on it. He's completely focused, and he wants to make a statement. Obviously, he's been out of the ring for 3.5 years or whatever it is, but for the last 4 months, I think he's been constantly in the gym, training, and then obviously training his fighters as well. So I really truly believe you're going to see a great night from Ricky Hatton again.
Ryan, I'm on the same feeling as you as well. I mean, I've been speaking to Bob Shannon daily. He's told me that, you know, the training's gone excellently, the sparring's gone brilliantly, but the real acid test is when he gets in the ring and fights again. As you know, the sparring's totally different to actual competition. Now, you know, 3.5 years out, you know, and with the well-documented problems that Ricky's had, you know, could that play a factor?
Listen, you're not going to know anything until the first round. Once he goes back to that corner at the end of the first round, you will know a new story on Ricky Hatton, whether he's still got it mentally, physically, whether he can take a shot, whether he's still got the aggression he had 4 or 5 years ago. You're not going to know anything until that first round. You know, we can read stories on how he's looking in the gym, like you've just said, Spence. But until that first round, we are not going to know a thing.
Yeah. And I think that's what brings such excitement to this event, isn't it? Because it is actually it's an event. You know, we get boxing shows and boxing fights, but a Ricky Hatton comeback really it appeals to people outside of boxing as well, doesn't it? It's just that element of not knowing what to expect and not knowing what Ricky's got. I know everybody wants him to be the old Ricky that he was, but that little bit gives us some sheer excitement, doesn't it?
It's the unknown. This fight is one of them fights where you've got so many answers, so many questions you want answering about Ricky Hatton. You know, and his lifestyle has been a factor over the last 3 years. But I think one of the things is that, you know, when fighters do come back, they come back for the wrong reason. They come back for the money aspect of it. And Ricky's not coming back for that reason, you know. So that's one of the biggest pressures that Ricky hasn't got. He hasn't got the money factor of coming back, you know, needing that money, wanting that money, needing them big paydays. Ricky's not coming back for that, and that's why I think personally that he's coming back for the right reasons. He's coming back to lay to rest some of them demons he has, you know, from the Pacquiao fight, and I really think that it's going to be a great night and another one of them memorable nights of Ricky Hatton fighting at the M.E.N arena again. So, I mean, I've not got many hairs on the top of my head, but the hairs on the back of my neck are standing up, and every time I think about it, I'm getting excited about it.
It's interesting. It will be such an event at the M.E.N arena as well, with the thousands and thousands and all the. There's only one Ricky Hatton that will be ringing in your head for the next 6 months, probably after Saturday. But you know, you grew up alongside Prince Naseem, and now just more or less on the back of Prince Naseem, Ricky came to prominence. Two huge characters in terms of charisma in the boxing game. You know, how do you weigh the two of those lads up, if you like?
I think, you know, obviously Naz and Ricky, the two different kind of fellas. You've got Ricky, who Joe Public can associate with and who can relate to so much, and I think that's why he's got such a massive following. You know, I don't think there's been a fighter over the last 3 years, apart from David Haye, but even David Haye couldn't sell the M.E.N arena out in, what was it, 2 or 3 days. Naz was one of them fighters where probably 50% of the audience went to see Naz's ring entrances, went to see the razzmatazz, went to see the excitement he brought to the ring, and the other 50% probably came to see him get beat. So, but Ricky, you've got 100% of the audience wanting him to do well, wanting him to succeed, and that's, you know, the difference between Ricky and Naz is, you know, Ricky was the people's fighter. Ricky is the, you know, the average guy on the street can relate to, and You know, he's one of them fighters that he'll have a good fight, a good tear-up, and then that same night he'll be in the local pub having a pint with you. And that's the great thing about Ricky Hatton.
Yeah, I think that if we look at, you know, fighters of the past that you would be as popular as Ricky Hatton, you'd probably have to go back as far as maybe Barry McGuigan. I mean, he had a tremendous following as well, and I think that as far as popularity goes, it would probably be McGuigan would have been the last one, and that would have been, you know, back in the 80s, early 90s.
Definitely, definitely. Like I say, I mean, Ricky's one of them fighters which the Joe public can associate with, and this fight at the M.E.N. has proved that there's not going to be another fighter who can sell arenas out like Ricky can. And, you know, he's been tried, he's been tested before. You've got Kell Brook, who's managing to sell Sheffield Arena out in Sheffield. David Hayes been up to the M.E.N. and sold the M.E.N. out. But I think just all the overall atmosphere and the overall attention, personally, I don't think there's going to be another fighter like Ricky Hatton selling arenas out and making, you know, now he's noising crowds.
Selling arenas out, Ryan, before anybody knew who he was fighting as well, which that's the most remarkable thing about it. Yeah, but
this is the thing. No, you know, Ricky was on the undercards and of the main events, and the majority of the crowd was coming to see Ricky, not the main event, and that's why you've got to respect Ricky so much for what, you know, about Ricky's audiences. He comes across such a nice, not arrogant, not flamboyant, but just a nice, genuine young kid.
And what do you expect from Senchenko? I'm sure you've done your homework on him. What kind of fight can Ricky expect?
Well, I think it's going to be, I mean, he's going to be going into this fight confident. He's going to be in this fight really confident, knowing that Ricky's been out of the ring for 3 years, 3.5 years. He knows he's going to be have been told. He's going to know, obviously, the problems Ricky's had while he's been out of the ring. So he's going to be going into this fight confident, knowing that he was world champion, knowing he's only been beat once by, obviously, Paulie Malignaggi for the world title. So, to be honest, he's going to be going into this fight full of confidence and expecting to win. I don't see any other reason why not.